I'm going to speak of some of the things that we do with AI in digital marketing. First, before I do that, let me maybe tell you a bit about how we look at AI and how old it actually is. So I think it entered our life maybe 2 or 3 years ago when cool stuff around generative AI started. But the way we think of AI is that it possibly came around in 1940s sometime when Alan Turing, and there's a brilliant Hollywood movie, I think it's called The Imitation Game, if anyone's seen that. And the way to think of AI is actually you can teach machines to do certain things for you based on logic. And it's been actually around for from 1950s is how we think of it. And the way it's evolved is actually like this. So if you think of artificial intelligence as a set of rules that humans can teach machines to take certain decisions, it's actually been around for about 70 years now. Then you add a layer of machine learning, which is to say that the machine can learn some rules by itself and take decisions or take better decisions. That's machine learning. Then with neural networks coming in, came the era of deep learning, which is basically a lot of complex stuff like decoding text, decoding voice, autonomous driving vehicles. A lot of it was enabled because of deep learning. And now I think we are fairly well versed with generative AI. I'm assuming most of you use Midjourney, Copilot, some kind of generative tool, generative AI tool. And I think we are now entering an age of agentic AI, which basically means that AI will become almost fully autonomous and will be very, very capable of talking within its own ecosystem of other Gen AI bots. And it's basically there in everyday lives. It's just that maybe we don't see it much. So the facial recognition works on some AI stuff. What you see on Netflix comes from here. I use maps in the morning to get here. Still got traffic, but nonetheless. And all the chatbots that we have, and I'll show you some cool examples. So basically, AI is there everywhere in our life. And I think I might be the 10th person over the last 2 days to show you this chart, but it honestly tells you how far AI has come in the last 6 years, which is to the classic Chihuahua versus Muffin. And what you see is how it's possibly evolved over the last 6 odd years, right? So we know that the machines have got better. We can process a lot more, and the machines are much more intelligent than what most of us think they are. The other really good thing about being in this country is that you look at our digital public infrastructure, it's amazing. So everything from Aadhaar to UPI to eKYC, DigiYatra, which again I used in the morning to get here from the airport. You look at the number of people using internet, that's about 900 million. If you look at the total adults which are in the country, that's about 1 billion. Or take people over the age of 15 years of age, which I think is a fair cutoff for you to have an individual connection. It's almost 90% of the people already have an internet access. And smartphones at about 650 million plus, assume in the next 2 or 3 years that also gets to 80-90% plus. Lowest cost of data, of course. What this means is that in about 2 or 3 years, there is a possibility that 900 million people can use AI. It's already there in your WhatsApp, it's already there in your Facebook feeds. You don't even need different tabs to use AI or create something cool out of it, right? So what AI can do is quite cool. Okay, let's see if this works. Yeah. And as one of the largest FMCG companies in the country, we are amongst the largest advertisers. We reach a hell lot of number of people. We have the largest R&D center for CPG. We really believe that a company like ours can make the best use of AI, of what AI has to offer. And we think of AI in 3 terms. So the first is on the consumer aspect, which I am sure a lot of you are interested in. Then the customer aspect, which in our terms is all the sales distribution that we do. So whether it's our work with e-com guys, Q-com guys, or the regular Kirana stores that still power 75% of our business. And then there's the operations part, which is basically running our supply chain, our factories, some more mundane stuff like HR, finance. But AI is actually being integrated into all of it. I'm going to focus today on 2 bits. So I'm going to speak of consumers and I'm going to speak of customers. I'm going to speak of a couple of case studies. I have timed myself quite well. So I think we should be able to take a few questions as well at the end. So let's see how we go about that. Okay, so one of the first things that we've done over the last couple of quarters, and I think some of you follow us as a company globally as well. We've called out that we want to move to a social-first demand generation model when it comes to marketing. So think of traditional marketing as one-to-many. You have this big creative idea, and you find the most effective way to deliver that idea to the consumer, which was largely television or print, or YouTube for that matter, till about 3 or 4 years ago. And it would still be okay for you to give that same message across and get good response. What we are now consciously doing is we are moving away from that one-to-many model to many-to-many model, which means that we really believe that we need to personalize, almost get it down to a cohort of one. And where AI comes in is that it helps you actually personalize in a far more efficient and an effective manner. Let's look at the graph on the left first. So one of the big aspects of many-to-many is the step up that we've done on influencer marketing. And if I were to look at the number of people that number of influencers, sorry, that we worked with over the last year or so, if I just take a cut of macro plus, that's about micro plus, sorry, that's about 8,000 for us. If you add nano, that number I think balloons to about 30,000 plus. So really scaling up our work on influencer marketing. We will be in every category that we play. We will be having the most number of creators and possibly having the most number of views. The other big thing is our digital media contribution has gone up by 2.5x over the last 4 odd years. And that kind of tells you how the consumer is shifting, but also how a company like Levers is pivoting their media spend. Powering all of this is the first use case for AI that we have. Okay. So what we've done is we've built an in-house planning tool along with our agency partners, but based at HUL. It's called Sangam. Sangam, for those who are not familiar, is basically Confluence. And it's confluence of multiple things in the backend. So it's confluence of marketing data, it's confluence of sales data, it's confluence of financial data. There's information which we cannot share with the agencies because we are a listed company. So the best way to do it is actually to have this data in-house and actually plan in-house. I think most of you know that we are amongst the largest advertisers in the country. We have about 50 odd brands. We have 2 called out philosophies. One is that we believe that India is not one market, but it's actually about winning in many Indias. So we think of India as 16 disparate geographies. And then the other bit to make it more exciting is that we also think of India as 4 different affluence levels. So any media plan that I make has to have this 16 into 4 as a cut. So 64 possible media plans that I need to make. And getting humans to do it is honestly quite difficult. So we've got a machine that does it now for us. The other good thing about this is that it's also got downstream integration. So a lot of the output that comes from Sangam can directly feed into platforms like Meta, platforms like Google, or platforms like TTD, who's our preferred DSP. So it means it is far superior media planning, and we know this because more than 80% of our brands are now winning top of mind or spontaneous awareness. So we know that this AI-based planning works. We have reduced the turnaround time from about 25 days. I know a lot of people in this room would have touched levers in some way or the other on media plans, if not actually worked on it. So from about 30 odd days to about 5 days. So we know it works. And as I said, there is deep upstream integration with our internal data and good integration downstream as well when it comes to deployment. So that's the first thing that we've done. The really important thing, by the way, is that this is an example of a plan for a premium brand. Please do not think this is all of HUL. I know some people have fallen into that trap and written beautiful articles, but I won't dwell into that further. Cool. So what I told you before, which was Sangam, is basically an enterprise-wide capability, which means all the brands which are at HUL leverage that to make their media plans and deploy media plans. But what the consumer actually sees is something like this. So on Tresemme, which is our hair care brand, it's the AI avatar is called Tai, and is the world's first AI-powered hairstyling assistant. So it's as simple as you pick a bottle of Tresemme, you'll find a QR code, and then you basically are given this brilliant consumer experience. Let me just take you to the video directly.
Hi beauties, welcome to the Talk to Ty experience. I'm Ty, the world's first AI-powered hairstyling assistant, built from a mix of pro stylist secrets, editor recos, influencer know-how, and 70 plus years of beauty brilliance, so that you can get those salon tips, personalized product picks, hacks, and inspo whenever and wherever you need them. I can't wait to chat with you.
Yeah, and so this is what the consumer sees. What also makes this really awesome for the consumer is that the content that we make now, so just on this piece of this brand across all markets, by the way, not just India, just on one brand, we've made about 6,000 assets in a quarter, all using different AI tools, which I think just popped up at the start of the video. So all these tools, so everything from Firefly to Imagine to Pencil. And what it helps us do is actually make all those beautiful cores that you see on the top and also adapt to the right size so that assets are fit for format and also fit for the cohorts that we are trying to speak to. So first I spoke of how AI is powering our media planning, and this is how AI is powering our content now. Increasingly, we want to pivot to this model as HUL, and possibly by end of this year, this will be how all our brands operate. The second thing, so that was the consumer bucket, if you remember the triangle. So there was consumers, there's customers, and there's operations. I said I'll speak of consumers and customers. So the customer part, which is basically the sales channel for us. So Kiranas is the general trade channel that we have. And for our turnover is roughly 6.5 billion euros in India per year. And Kirana still power about 75% of it, give or take 100 BPS difference, right? And it's an incredibly complex distribution system. So there are about 3,500 distributors that we work with, about 22,000 market executives who go to different shops and get an order. And at times, this can take a lot of time. So from the shop shelf being empty to it getting refilled might actually be a time-consuming process. So what we've done is we have this app called Shikhar, which is one of India's largest B2B apps. And the retailer can download this app, and it does two things. It gives almost like an e-com type of experience where he or she can order like ordering from any e-com or Q-com app, very similar interface. And the other upside is that you still get the quality of service or the credit period that you expect in FMCG or the buybacks in case stocks don't sell. You get all those goodies that you have when it comes to working with us. How is AI integrated into all of this? So it actually does two things. So we have about 15 million retailers now. 1.5 million, 15 lakh retailers now on this one. And what it does is that it constantly analyzes what did you order before in your previous purchase journey with us and what are you ordering now. It helps us do a couple of things. So one, it tells you if more premium products or more premium formats are moving in that shop, which means that we can recommend more premium formats from other categories to the shop owner. That's one. The other thing it does is that if the shop owner clicks a photo of the shelf of his or her shop, we can actually recommend what's the right design to make it more attractive, and also what kind of packs need to be placed on that shelf to make them move faster. So that's one use case of AI just within Shikhar. The other thing we've done is I think kudos to Mondelez. I don't know if anybody from Mondelez is here. But with the Shah Rukh Khan example, they did something really cool. That was consumer facing. I think we've done something similar, which is customer facing. So I'll just play a video here.
नमस्कार, सत श्री अकाल, आदाब। मैं हूं अरशद वारसी। बड़े पर्दे पर मैंने आपको हंसाया है, थोड़ा बहुत रुलाया भी है, लेकिन आज मैं बताने आया हूं आपके पसंदीदा नजदीकी स्टोर महेश किराना स्टोर के बारे में। जी हां, वही स्टोर जहां से आप अपने घर का जरूरी सामान खरीदते हैं। एक बात बताऊं, आपके पसंदीदा महेश किराना स्टोर में रेड लेबल हॉर्लिक्स किसान पर चल रहे हैं ढेर सारे ऑफर्स। इन प्रोडक्ट्स पे पाइए 10% तक की छूट। बचत करना समझदारी है, और आप तो समझदार कस्टमर है ना? अरे तो जल्दी से आइए और बचत का फायदा उठाइए। क्या आप आज बिजी हैं? अरे कोई बात नहीं, आपके लिए महेश किराना स्टोर अब होम डिलीवरी भी करता है। नीचे दिए फोन नंबर पे कॉल करिए और अभी ऑर्डर दीजिए। तो टेंशन नहीं लेने का, एकदम कॉन्फिडेंस में फुल टू खरीदारी करने का, समझा क्या?
So we already have all the data. So Mahesh Kirana store, for example, we already know because we service that store directly and that person orders from us. But what AI helped us do is actually make this video, give it to the retailer. And while a lot of us are cool QCOM kids, there are also a set of people who order from WhatsApp from your neighborhood mom and pop store. So the retailer would actually then send this video to his group of consumers or to people who live in the area and build some buzz around it. So this is AI in action, not just in terms of helping us generate demand for our brands with what we do with customers, but also how some cool communication can be crafted to make it more appealing to for our sales channel. Yeah. So I think there are three enablers for our digital marketing AI journey. So first is we are not in the business of leveraging AI just because it exists. So it has to matter for the business. It means either it has to help us sell more, or it has to help us reduce cost, or it should help us manage more efficiently. And as long as it does at least one of the three, if not all the three, we are very happy investing in AI for that function or operation. Second is the leadership and cultural interventions which are required. Because a lot of us are wired to work in a certain way. All the hoopla around jobs getting lost and jobs getting taken away because of AI. I think a lot of that is noise. If as leaders we really embrace AI, it can really boost productivity. Thankfully in our company, right from CEO downwards, everybody has their stake in making the company AI ready. And the other big thing is investing in strong foundations. So data is a differentiator. We are lucky again in the sense that we are possibly the only company which works with so many retailers in the country, reaches out to so many consumers in the country, and also has a very strong B2B ecosystem through Shikhar, which I just spoke about. So there's a lot of rich data which we have, which possibly gives us an advantage when it comes to leveraging something like AI. And all of this, of course, is underpinned by data privacy and security by design. So you can't be saying, oh, let's start first and then we'll figure on the fly about data privacy. Privacy comes first, and then all the leverage of AI and data comes after that. And there's strong internal governance mechanisms around AI assurances platform. So again, legal teams are involved, CDOs are involved, CEOs are involved. So we know that what we are doing is ethical, safe for the consumer, but also good for our business. So that's me. And of course, needless to say, Microsoft Copilot helped me make some of this presentation in true AI style. So thank you, Copilot, for that. I think we can take a couple of questions. We can, okay, good. I think they might want you to have a mic. You can ask, I can repeat for them. I gave the number of 45%, 40%, so that's the number. Yeah. Sorry, the question was what is digital of our media spend? The answer is 40%, which is on the slide.
Okay, so TV is just 60 in spite of you going pretty interior, yeah.
Maybe there are other mediums, but that I can't tell you.
Okay, and any areas where you used AI to generate creatives, video creatives, and put it out?
So a lot of the
apart from the Tresemme one where she's a bot or whatever,
so
but creating a full creative, yeah.
So the follow-up so you saw the video on TIE, but the follow-up slide which actually had all the different formats and different cohorts, a lot of that is now actually created by AI. So what we've moved to is a philosophy of doing a super shoot for brands, for creative, then complementing with AI. What we ideally want to move to is start with AI and then complement with a super shoot wherever required. So to answer your question, do we use AI to make content? 100% yes, but we believe that we can possibly leverage it far more than what we do right now.
But do you give a brief to a creative agency and then a ad created by AI, compare the two and then run which is better? Something like that? Or
look, the creative agency's job of defining the communication cannot be taken away by anyone. I think let's start from there. Whether you get a producer to make a video asset, or whether you get something like a Firefly to make a video asset or a Pencil Pro to make a video asset, that's up to how good the production capability is. But the core idea of what the brand is, what we need to communicate, and what we need to communicate over and over again to different sets of people in different geographies, that very much rests with the creative agency.
rests with the agency.
Am I audible?
Yes, of course.
Okay. So there's just a couple of questions. What are the inputs
Sorry, please
that-
ask one at a time. I will forget the second
Okay.
question.
Sure.
I will take both part.
Awesome. So what are the inputs that you look at from a business point of view that goes into Sangam while you do the entire media mix modeling? That's the first question.
So as I said, we look at different business data. So how fast is stock moving, which means what's the sales like, what's the brand uplift through all the work that we do with Kantar and Nielsen, how's penetration moving. And so these are the business metrics. And then there are, of course, media metrics that we look at, saying what was the creative performance, what was the buy type, do we do enough top funnel, should we do more bottom funnel. So all those equations go into it, but it's led by what the business outcome is.
How does share of search or anything to do with search, has a weightage in terms of the business metrics for you?
So the share of search actually has two uses for us. One is that it's a very good indicator of brand strength. So for example, let's take QCOM. And if you're getting more organic searches for your brand, that means you're driving top of mind, and hence consumers are searching for you. It's true for QCOM or any marketplace for that matter. So one is for us in terms of search, we look at it as a very good proxy for how consumers are perceiving our brands. And if share of search goes up organically, then it's excellent. Second, we do enough and more modeling to determine on which platforms how much to invest on search. Because we have multiple brands in our portfolio, we will think where do we cannibalize deliberately and which are the areas which are unique to different brands. So search, of course, plays a key role, both in marketplace and QCOM for us. But strategy for that will be dependent on which brand, what life stage, both for the brand and the category.
Awesome. Last question. What's the periodicity of Sangam coming into play? Is it like quarterly? Is it yearly?
It's an industry knowledge that we run a monthly media cycle, so it's a monthly update.
Awesome. Thanks a lot.
So Tejas, I have one question for companies you've just acquired or D2C brands. Is there a different mantra in terms of how you look at sort of digital marketing or any of this what you showed, or is it pretty much again the Sangam philosophy as well?
So I think I can look back at what we've done with previous acquisitions, and maybe that will give you a sense. So when we acquired, say, a brand like Indulekha, which was premium brand for sure, but rooted in Ayurveda, we've not let go of any of the brand ethos, which made the brand successful in the first place. What we've done is we've made it accessible to more people, either by driving top of mind, saying it's a great product, putting media investments behind it, or making it available to more people on the shelf, either e-com or whatever physical retail. So there are different reasons why we acquire brands. One of them is learning how those companies operate, because there is something different. I can't comment right now saying how will the recent acquisition on D2C impact Sangam, but we will learn from it and it will be a part of Sangam.
So one follow-up question, not to that necessary question, but just for the benefit of the ad tech growing ecosystem across India and the world as well, and you're the largest advertiser in most markets as well. There are a lot of companies which hustle with some solutions and services and ask very hard to get like even a POC from Unilever. What's your point of sort of thought for some of those organizations?
Yeah, so if you have something differential to offer, we are very, very open. I was talking to someone right before I walked onto the stage. And to give you a couple of examples, so we work with this company called Vision. It's spelled as VTION, so people pronounce it differently. But it's basically a panel of 100,000 smartphones. And I think we started working with them before any other MNC did. But they offered something which is very unique. Similarly, we work with a company called Bintex. I don't know if anyone's heard of it. So if you have something different to offer, we are more than interested. If it's another Me Too product, for lack of a better word, if it's just another clone, then no.
No, fabulous to hear, because most of them not. I think it's always the marketer who says yes, but sometimes your agency partners become a bit of a.
So, I mean, we work directly with enough people, so.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's a short question. I just wanted to know, you said you are social first, like many-to-many marketing. So what will happen to the traditional medias, like an OH media and all, in the marketing plan?
So you have to think of many to many as in different, it's almost like a spectrum of personalization. So many to many can mean one to one, or it could really mean the old way of one to many. So I think the beauty with something like OH and print is it all, by default it sits somewhere in between, in the sense that you could always make a outdoor creative for Mumbai, for Pune, for Delhi within, sorry, I'm not from Delhi, but if you know Mumbai, then you could make a creative for Bandra, for Andheri, for Goregaon, so on and so forth. You, with digital OH, maybe you can do personalization, but I don't think so. The role of the medium is to personalize. So it will come down to what's the role of the medium, and then what's on the spectrum of how much the medium can personalize. It's for the marketer then to leverage that. Guys, I have a flight to catch. I'm really sorry. I would love to take more questions, but I do have a flight at 5.
I was told the same, that's fair. But thank you so much again. Can we have a huge round of applause, everyone?